Hey church, happy and blessed Advent season to all of you as we anticipate the arrival of Jesus Christ and the light that shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Well, this week we're in chapter 13 of the story, The King Who Had It All, and we're talking about King Solomon here. Solomon was the son of King David. He was known as the wisest man who ever lived. Whereas David was a warrior, Solomon was more of a sage. And people came from the farthest corners of the earth to hear him speak, as God had given him, the scriptures tells us, wisdom and very great insight, and a breadth of understanding that was as measureless as the sand on the seashore. So as far as sheer brain power goes, Solomon was kind of the king of the hill. No one could dethrone him. And yet for all of his wisdom, Solomon failed to faithfully follow God the way that his father David had. Instead, Solomon was led astray into worship of false gods. He intermarried with the women of the nations God had commanded him not to, and that ultimately led not just his own heart, but the hearts of the Israelites astray and into idolatry. Our hearts are funny things. They can't be reasoned with, they can't be debated. No amount of wisdom or knowledge or rational discussion seems able to change their course. Instead, our hearts are simply drawn to that which we love the most. Kind of like moth to flame. Regardless of the course that we know to be true and right, well, we know we should go this direction, our hearts don't always seem to follow it, do they? To put it another way, our heads and our hearts don't speak the same language. I've heard it said that the furthest distance in the world is the 12 inches from your heart to your head. And King Solomon, he learned this the hard way, and so often we do too. We are hardwired to love, and whatever we love the most will dictate the way that we live our lives. An author by the names of J.K.A. Smith, he wrote a book called You Are What You Love, and in it he says this, he says, "You can't not love. It's why the heart is the seat and fulcrum of the human person, the engine that drives our existence. We are lovers first and foremost." So what do you love the most? In which direction do you find your own heart being drawn? Our hearts continually need to be recalibrated and reoriented so that they point toward the one object worthy of our love, Jesus Christ. And make no mistake, your heart is continually being recalibrated and reoriented, whether that's by your own desires or the world around us. Something is molding and shaping your loves. But the truth is that whatever knowledge or fame or security or understanding we may accumulate over the course of a lifetime, none of it will last. Only the perfect love of a God who gave himself for us in a manger on the cross will satisfy our deepest longings. See, happiness is fleeting, but joy is eternal.